From IBM TV, International Broadcast Media, this is your report from Washington. Continued protests and violence in the wake of the Jacob Blake shooting in Kenosha, Wisconsin, as well as the violence in Portland, Oregon, are being politicized by the Republicans as proof of the need for Donald Trump's law and order platform. The Republicans argue that this is what the nation will become under a Biden administration. In contrast, the Democrats accuse Trump of fanning the fears of Americans and stoking the flames of unrest and division as the cause of this violence. Moreover, Democrats argue that this is the nation that Trump has created, and the COVID-19 deaths are the direct result of Trump's mishandling of the pandemic. Trump plans to visit Kenosha, Wisconsin on Tuesday over the objections of the governor of Wisconsin and the state's attorney general. For his part, Joe Biden will be in Pittsburgh today to address the nationwide protests. There are 64 days left before the election on November 3rd. Next, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, in a letter to Congress stated that the military will not interfere in the upcoming presidential election. General Milley wrote, quote, "In the event of a dispute over some aspect of the elections, by law, U.S. courts and the U.S. Congress are required to resolve any disputes, not the military." In a separate but unusual development, the Director of National Intelligence sent a letter to Congress stating that the agency will no longer provide in-person testimony to House and Senate committees on election security matters due to leaks. Instead, the committee will provide a written report. In other news, the comprehensive COVID-19 relief package negotiations have inched forward. Republicans have moved off their initial offer of $1 trillion to a new offer of $1.3 trillion. Democrats have rejected the offer, holding firm to their compromise offer of $2.2 trillion. In addition, both sides have begun discussions on the plethora of looming funding bills necessary and critical to stave off a government shutdown weeks before the election on November 3rd. Separately, senior advisors to Joe Biden are considering an immediate $1 trillion stimulus bill in January as a precursor to a larger $3 trillion, quote, Build Back Better economic stimulus plan. In our post office update, there has been no movement on the $25 billion emergency funding bill passed by the House. Finally, the current COVID death toll from Johns Hopkins University is over 183,068 American souls lost, with no end in sight. That is your report for this day, August 31st, 2020. From IBM TV, International Broadcast Media, smart television for a smarter global community, from dictatorships to democracies around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I'm Bill Trezevant.